can't I ever just do this on the first take, you know? You know, just first try. Close enough, man! Welcome to the evil side, baby. What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, man. Today, we're gonna be doing some work on the Blazer. Finally! I feel like it's been forever since we've done anything with the Blazer. I've mentioned to you guys that I want the Blazer to turn more into kind of like a daily, something to just drive around on the street in. And, of course, the truck over here is what's going to eventually wind up being the race truck. But, you know, these kind of things are really expensive. So, it'll get there when it gets there. So, we know what the Blazer is capable of doing. Like, it's not fast by any means, but it is fun enough to go out and have some fun with. But it can be a lot better. It most certainly can be a lot better. And that's what I want to start focusing on. Because, honestly, I mean, putting this thing on E85, putting a cam in it, and even a turbo, those kind of things aren't going to take away from it, from the ability of it being a street drivable, just daily type thing with air conditioning, you know? So I figured I may as well go ahead and still do all that kind of stuff. First things first is I really want to get this thing on E85. Unfortunately, at the moment, we have rubber AN line on here, just regular old AN line. I ordered all this stuff. This is Evil Energy that I got off of Amazon quite some time ago whenever we first put the thing together. I kind of knew at that time that I was going to eventually want to do E85, so I should have done PTFE to start with. But I didn't, okay? I didn't. I'm going to do it now. Now, I don't know if we're going to get to this stuff today, but I do have 20 feet here of -8 PTFE line, and then this right here is a 10 micron fuel filter. It's this one has all the fittings and stuff on the end, so you can put whatever size fuel, whatever size line you want to. We're going to be using -8, so I'm going to be running a -8 feed and a -8 return. That's what I have on there now. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a fuel pressure regulator. I'll most certainly have a link in the description down below for all of these items. This is the stuff that we are going to be putting on the Blazer in order to convert it over to E85. If you guys didn't know, PTFE line is actually like a hard plastic line on the inside. Look, I'm no scientist. I don't know exactly what it is, but I do know that if you want to run E85, this is what it is you need.
Polytetrafluoroethylene fuel line is a fuel line constructed with a PTFE liner, often also known as Teflon, that offers exceptional chemical resistance, low friction, and high temperature resistance, making it suitable for various fuels, including those with high ethanol content like E85.
Because E85 will actually tear apart your rubber lines. We found that out the hard way on the EP3 out there. It started tearing the lines up from the inside, and now the lines are just swollen and it just leaks and like sweats gas out of them. I need to replace all that stuff too. Not only will there be a link in the description down below for all this stuff, but there will also be a coupon code, a promotional code for you guys. You can get a discount. So moving back over to the Blazer, my goal for today is to kind of get it torn down. I need to get the fuel tank out of it. I need to get all the old line off. And right now, currently, I don't know what I'm gonna do as far as running the fuel lines and as far as fuel rails. Put it in the comments down below. Do you guys know, do they make a billet fuel rail that I'm capable of attaching to the stock truck manifold? I feel like that would be ideal for me right now. We'll talk about that a little more later. Right now, I need to get to work on getting this thing kind of torn apart. We got to get the whole damn gas tank out of this sumbitch, and as you guys know, I've done that 20 times now. Oh, shit. Look at that. Jack stand, jack stand, jack stands. All my jack stands are taken up. All right, well, quick jack it is. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Little brat. Alright, let's get up underneath here and see what it is we're dealing with at the moment. I know a lot of you guys watch me put all this stuff in, but to get a little refresher, you know? So at the top of the tank is the stock hanger, and I have the AN conversion pieces on the hanger to actually run AN line. And those lines are up here. So they come off of the tank and then they run down the frame rail here. And this is the feed and the return. I don't know which one is which right now, but whenever we get up here closer, we'll know, because the feed line is actually running through the filter. And then this is the return line. But as you can see right here on the frame, this is where there is one of those crimp connects, like conversions, to run from the hard line into AN. So these are the stock fuel lines right here. Now, I don't think that the stock fuel lines are going to necessarily limit me as far as power. I mean, we're not pushing a bunch of power out of this thing right now, you know what I mean? But I think it would be better to get rid of them. I don't know, man. Like, throw it in the comments down below. This video is basically gonna be me trying to get a game plan on what it is I'm gonna do with this fuel system. Of course, I'm not on any kind of deadline, so I don't need to rush through this, but I do want to redo it, and I want to do it right, you know what I mean? So I know for a fact that we need PTFE line, because my ultimate goal is to put this thing on E85. So should I be ditching these hard lines and then just run PTFE line all the way to the front and all the way back? Like, is there a benefit to that? Or is it kind of pointless to like reinvent the wheel? You know what I'm saying? Anyhow, like I said, the return line goes into this hard line. Then this is the feed, and the feed goes into a hard line a little bit further up. From this point on, it's all AN line going back to the tank. From this point forward, stock lines, that little one in the center is actually a vent that's supposed to go up to the charcoal canister that is up there. So from right here, these hard lines go through the frame, and that's kind of the reason I think that I kept it, because it just seemed like it made sense, you know? It goes through the frame, it gets me up there without having my fuel lines potentially getting close to the exhaust. So now let's go to the engine bay and I'll show you where it is they come out. Now coming up here into the engine bay, it's gonna be kind of hard to get you guys down in there, but so right here is where the fuel lines come out. So the hard lines are actually poking out of the frame right there, and then I have more of those crimp connects that crimps onto the hard line, and then it goes into AN line, and that's where the AN line continues, and then it comes up the front of the engine right here and then runs to my fuel rails. Now, I've always kind of hated this setup. Like, I don't like how it's so cluttered right here, but alternatively, I mean, if my fuel lines weren't going through the frame right there, then my fuel lines would have to come up back here closer to the firewall, and all of this is all real crowded as well. My only option would be to either come over here and have fuel lines going up over my brake booster, which that would look terrible, right? Otherwise, I'd have to come up to the left-hand side of the brake booster over here. But if I do that, then that's exactly where my header is at, and then my fuel lines are going to be like right next to my exhaust into the header, in which that's definitely bad, because that's where it's going to get most of the heat, and it's gonna not only heat my fuel up, but hell, that might be so close that it might actually be dangerous and melt the fuel line, you know, which would be really bad. So realistically, it's best that it's running through here, but I don't know if I should try to pull those hard lines out and run the PTFE line in its place, and just have the PTFE line poke out of the frame right there in the same place and then come up. I think my biggest deal is I don't know if I trust those crimp connects so much, you know, like those things like are kind of janky, bro. And like, I remember when I was putting them on, it's like tightening it, and I'm sitting there like, really, is that it? That's really all it's holding that on there, and that's not gonna leak, you know? Like, I don't know, I felt weird about it. So that's why in my mind it just makes more sense to run the PTFE line straight, and then it's less likely to leak because it's just a solid line. Of course, if we go through the frame, I'm gonna probably have to cut that hole a little bit bigger and make sure to put a grommet in there to protect the lines from chafing and whatever. But I don't know. Put it in the comments what it is you guys think. Like I said, man, I'm trying to get some ideas on what to do here. So another issue that I have with the fuel system, well, for starters, what we've already talked about is this is all rubber AN line, and I want to run E85, so I have to switch over to PTFE. But I'm trying to decide if I should just run the PTFE line the same as I have this rubber line, and just go ahead and leave those factory hard lines there and basically just replace all the rubber line with PTFE, right? That's the easiest way. The second option would be to remove all the hard lines and figure out how to run the PTFE through the frame and basically route it in the same position it is now, just instead of utilizing the factory hard lines, it would be solid PTFE all the way. So that's option 2. Moving on from that is the actual power that goes back there to the fuel pump. So this thing is still doing this where if I drive around, like if I hop in this thing and drive it for, let's say, 30 minutes or so, after you drive for a while, the fuel pump back there just starts getting louder and louder and louder until it's almost making like a loud hum. It doesn't do it as often as it used to, but it still does it. And then you shut it off and then you start it again and it goes away. Now, I don't know if that's power or if we're still having the same damn problem of like sediment inside of that gas tank clogging up the sock inside of there. That actually probably is more than likely what's happening. But with the power, I have an output on the Holly that's coming out of my firewall. And I don't know exactly which wire it is, but it's one of these wires. So I found the power wire on this stock. I don't know if you'd call this a fuse block. Well, on the other side of it is a fuse block. So on this stock wiring output input majigger, I found one of these plugs was for the fuel pump. That is where I ran the power wire. So whenever the Holly sends the power out, it is coming through the wire and it's just plugging into this. And then from this on is factory. Now, I don't think that the wiring, for one, is probably large enough for the upgraded fuel pump that we have back there, which is a, I forget which one it is. I believe it's a Walbro 255 or something like that. Anyhow, I do believe the wiring needs to be upgraded, for one, and for two, I don't know if this is even going through a relay anywhere, which is bad. Like, it needs to go through a relay, right? I don't know if the relay, because this might have just been the power going to the fuel pump. From factory, this wire might have came out and went to a relay that was inside of the engine bay inside of here. And then it got its signal from the factory ECU. I don't know. So what I'm wanting to do is actually leave this entire stock setup, but where the power is all the way back there at the fuel pump, use that as just a signal for a relay and actually mount a relay back there close to the pump because my battery is back there, and then just run a larger gauge wire directly from the battery to the relay, out of the relay to the pump, and then just use this as the trigger to tell the relay to come on. Basically, I need to do that. But anyhow, for the time being, no matter which way it is I go, I need to get that fuel tank out of there. So that's what we're going to do right now, is go ahead and drop the tank. And then I'm going to start getting all these stock, or not stock, all these rubber AN lines off of here, because no matter what, all that stuff has got to go. And then maybe once we get all that stuff undone, I can get a better look at what it is that it would take to run PTFE line through the frame rail right there. So I think no matter what, I need to obviously keep my damn fuel lines away from that header, you know what I'm saying? And before I get the gas tank out, I'm gonna walk around the Blazer and sneak up behind Toby and try to get his ball. Got you, sucker. What? What? What are you gonna do with that ball? Are you even gonna do anything with that ball? Give me that ball, Toby. Toby, give me that ball, Toby. Toby, come here. Come here, Toby. Come here. Oh, okay. I love you, pupper. All right, Toby. Give me that ball. Give me that ball, fucker. Currently, my fuel line's disconnect inside of here, where I can't really get the camera inside of here to show you guys. But there's one disconnected. All Alright, both fuel lines are disconnected. The reason why I did this originally was, well, I mean, I still like the concept. So I'm able to disconnect the fuel lines there and then drop the tank without having to try to disconnect the fuel lines while trying to manhandle the gas tank. You know what I mean? So, I feel like we all know at this point. Okay, bring it in, Toby. Bring it in. Bring it in. Come here. Come here. Yeah. I love you. Yes, I know. I'm downloaded. Oh my God. Both of you? No tongue in mouth. No tongue in mouth. What the hell? Alright, I feel like we all know at this point that I am going to get gas all over the place. You know, it's happened every single time. I've tried to take this thing out, and I try to be careful, you know, is what it is I'm doing. And every single time, it ends up in just gasoline all over the damn place, to the point that I'm having to pull the damn hose out and hose it down to get rid of the smell because I'm getting a headache. But as long as we know it's coming, as long as we are expecting it, it can't come as a surprise, right? So, here we go. Give me that fucking ball, Toby. Give me that fucking ball, Toby. Give me that ball. Well, get the hell out of here then. No, go. Danger zone. Danger zone. Okay, I only have the fill hose left. Don't dump all over the place, huh? Right, here we go. Are you freaking kidding me? Alright, I'm actually kind of upset that it didn't spill. That was the least careful I've ever been at taking this damn tank out. And this is the one time that it doesn't spill. There we go. We got a little bit of spillage. Motherfucker. You guys are in luck today, for King Henry has blessed us with his presence. Tell the people hi, Henry. Hello to all you peasants. I have brought myself down from the kingdom to see how all the people are doing in the village. Do you want some outside time, Henry? Oh. I guess I take that as a yes. Outside time, go. You're welcome, you asshole. Oh shit. Should've known I was gonna get gas on me. Out with the old rubber lines and making room for our new PTFE. But like I said, I don't know if I'm gonna get to actually putting the lines, making the new lines today. I'm really trying to figure out a way to get rid of these, like more than anything, I want to get rid of the stock fuel rails and the stock fuel pressure regulators. We did end up getting a new fuel pressure regulator and stuff, and I want to run this correctly, and I want to get rid of these stock ones because I've seen people have problems where these little caps blow out on the stock fuel rails, and which causes, you know, which can cause big issues, dude. You can completely burn your truck down if that was to happen. And I want to get those the hell out of here before I switch over to E85. Yeah, I see your damn ball. I see it. What are you going to do with that ball? What are you going to do with it? Why don't you let me have it? Give me that damn ball. Do you want this, Toby? Do you want this? Here. Here. I'll trade you. I'll trade you. Look. Here. I'll trade you. Whatever, bro. You see, realistically, these hard lines, they're really not bad, bro. It's a pretty sick setup having that section just going straight through the frame, you know? Because now I can literally just make the exact same lines that I already have back there and run to the gas tank, and then right here my lines literally just connect right there and then run up to the fuel rails. So I mean, I don't know, I really think I should probably just keep the hard lines. What would you guys do? For real, put it in a comment. That's the reason why I'm saying that this video is basically just me tearing all this stuff down, because I'm trying to brainstorm and do this correctly. I want to make sure that this time when I do it, it's going to be the final time. Like, you know, I don't want to have to go back and redo anything. I really don't want to put the gas tank back in there. I'd like to put a fuel cell back there, something with a sump, you know, but then I'm going to have to run an external pump rather than the intake pump, which I'm fine with. And yes, I know, I can already see all the comments. If I'm going to drive this thing on the street, the intake pumps don't overheat, but I don't know, man. I've never had an issue running an external pump. That, and I also want to get rid of these damn stock fuel rails, so I don't know. We're just tearing shit apart at the moment. Officially got all of the rubber line off the truck. Yay, that's an accomplishment. Anyhow, yeah, at this point, there ain't really much else I can do, man. This is kind of, like I said, just a disassembly video. I'm gonna see if I can't find a fuel cell. I might just go ahead and jump on Evil Energy and see what it is they have available and order just one of those like 10 or 15 gallon tanks, and we'll have to like build something in the back to actually mount it. But I really want something with a sump, dude, and something that's going to be a lot easier to put in and out, because this is a pain in the ass having to do this every time, especially with it being an in-tank pump. I'd rather have an external pump with a cell back there that I'm able to get to all the fittings and everything, you know, and I don't have to do this every time. That, and of course, I've said it a dozen times, we're going to be switching over to PTFE so that it'll handle the E85. And then I'm going to see what it is I'm going to do about the fuel setup as far as the intake manifold. I don't know if I want to just completely swap out intake manifolds and go with something else. I've been looking for a Trailblazer SS manifold that's not $400 for whatever reason. Like, but I can't find them like without injectors and everything, because I don't need everything. I just need a bare manifold. That, or just put a set of billet fuel rails on this manifold for now, you know, that'd be nice. And then we'd be able to run our external fuel pressure regulator. So I have some adjustability there. We'll have a gauge so that I could actually see the fuel pressure, and get rid of these damn stock fuel rails. Because ever since I seen, and it was a first gen S10 Blazer just like this that I saw somebody wrote about in one of the groups on Facebook, that he was at the track and he had one of these pop off on him, and it just saturated the heat soaked engine with fuel, and it went up in flames, and his whole damn Blazer just burned down. And ever since I seen that, dude, I've been wanting to get these damn fuel rails off my truck. But anyhow, guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Throw it in the comments down below what it is you think about, you know, the pass-through hard lines and all of that. I think the plus side of getting rid of that would be the fuel line is all one piece, and we have less connection points, you know. That's another thing with these fuel rails. So I'm having to use the conversion fittings, because as you guys know, these factory fuel rails used to have the quick connects. So you have to use these little conversion fittings. which they fit on, like, they don't leak. I've never had a problem with them, but they just fit on there so loose, dude. Look, it just slides around. So I have, that is a point that could potentially leak. And then the fitting can potentially leak. And then there's another one here, and then the fitting. So there's 4 points right there that could potentially leak. You know what I'm saying? And then it runs down, and then it connects to the hard lines. That could potentially leak. The hard lines run through, and then it connects back to AN line. There's another potential leak. And then from there, it goes over to the fuel tank, in which on the gas tank, well, for one, I have this point that also it could potentially leak. The fuel lines attach here, but then it comes up and attaches to the top here. And I have 2 more conversion fittings. So right here alone, there's 4 points that could potentially freaking leak. So you see what I'm getting at? It's just a lot of conversion to AN, to conversion to AN, to conversion to AN, where I feel like I would have more peace of mind just knowing that it is a solid line that connects to a welded on bung on a fuel cell. And that line is solid all the way up, except for where, you know, of course, we got to put a fuel pump or a filter. And just have less connecting points, you know, that could potentially leak. That and, of course, the accessibility of having a fuel cell. It's going to be a little bit more serviceable, you know. And then an external pump that a fuel cell, I'd be able to run 2 external pumps or 1 large one. A little bit more adjustability there. I have a fuel pressure regulator, PTFE line, so we can run E85. Yeah, that's my goal. And I don't have half of that. I got the line and the fitting so far and the pressure regulator, but that's about it. Throw your comments down below, of course, all your recommendations. I appreciate your guys' feedback. Peace, and I'll see you on the next one. Tell them bye, Tubby. Tell them bye. Oh, no, god dang thing you're worried about is that freaking ball, man. Give me that ball. Tubby, give me the ball. Tubby, give me the ball. Toby, give me the ball, dude. Give me the ball. Come here. Come here, I just want to pet you. Okay, hi, pupper. Come here, Tubby. Come here, I just want to pet you. Hi. How you doing, buddy? Give me the ball. Give it to me. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. God. Give me the ball. Alright, I'll give you the ball back if you tell him bye. You gotta tell him bye. You gotta tell him bye. Alright, bye, ball. Sucker.